Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Good morning.
Monday. We're welcoming Molecular to the crew. Molecular got some social media fame for talking shit about equipoise.
Yep.
My favorite thing to talk shit about.
Me too.
Well, we recorded an equipoise video this past week. I'm going to put it out probably Monday or Tuesday of this week. It was a really good conversation, I thought. So if you want to hear us talk shit about equipoise, it'll be up tomorrow. I think it was objective conversation. I joke, but so don't come hot at me in the comments section. Everybody treats equipoise like it's their girlfriend or something. I'm not talking shit about your girlfriend. It's just a drug. It's just a thing.
Well, if that's the case, I did your girlfriend and she sucked.
She ruined my life.
Wasn't very good.
Life.
I'm honestly at the point where I think Tren is a better option.
Tren's always a better option.
Agreed.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I think low dose Tren is better. I would say that's I'd reach for that before I'd reach for Boldenone in most cases.
I used to have Boldenone in my B tier, but I would put it down in my C or D tier of choices now. I probably have Test, Masteron, Primobolan, GH in my A tier. I don't know, probably Deca, maybe Anavar. I don't know about Anavar sometimes because the way it smashes lipids. Probably Deca.
For me, it's in my never tier with the kidney stuff we've been seeing and all that and all those numbers. From
equipoise.
Equipoise is in my never.
It's interesting because you guys can watch the video when it comes out, but it's not everybody. But I'll say this: I look at a shit ton of blood panels. I mean, a lot. I estimated over 1,000 last year, and I never see cystatin C chronically or just slowly elevate over a cycle on any other drug.
Just slowly creeps up sort of indefinitely. And then at some point you have to be like, we can't do this anymore. We have to stop. This is getting out of hand.
I mean, it's the only one I've seen do that.
Yeah.
And after I've talked about it, I've had, and then people say, well, the old guys, why did the guys back in the early 2000s not have problems? And I'm like, well, they don't talk about them. They reach out to me. I've had multiple guys reach out to me that are on dialysis. I guess they're embarrassed and they keep it quiet.
Yeah. Or maybe they didn't have obvious problems, and it's just, like you said, now that they're older, over years and years of exposure, now the problems are there.
I mean, isn't that the way you got? I mean, Josh and Molecular, you guys know. I mean, kidney problems just kind of sneak up on you over. It's a slow thing over a period of time that just adds up, and then next thing you know, you're on a fucking dialysis machine.
Yeah, I mean, when you hit like 70, 80, I mean, my dad is an older guy, and his kidney function, just starts declining. Mm-hmm. So if you've already done damage, when you're 30, 40, 50 with this stuff, and by the time you hit that age, you can, potentially have some serious issues because, it's just going to start going down as you get older, and you want as much as you possibly can. You don't want it to be, already impaired and damaged by, years of Boldenone use.
Yeah. And not everyone is lucky enough to catch it in time too. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tyler Smith, the men's physique competitor, younger guy. I think he's in his mid-30s possibly. And he started having chronic kidney disease out of nowhere. He has a long story. You guys can go check it out. Definitely just go check it out and see what he did. He recovered. He's competing still, but he had to go from open to competing in men's physique just because he didn't want to push, the compounds and so on and the muscle mass that's required, right? But in any case, if you guys are interested in the effects of kidney disease and chronic kidney disease on a competitor specific use case, he's somebody you can Google. I have an interview on my channel too if you guys want to check it out.
And for someone that's competing specifically, you know, if you damage your kidneys, you're not going to look good on stage,
right?
You know, because you'll start holding water. You know, if you know, it's not only a health thing; it's like a bodybuilding specific thing. Because, you know, I mean, you see these old people with like edema in their legs and stuff with reduced kidney function, and that's, you know, that's what that is. You know, it's you know, you start holding a ton of water, it looks bad. So beyond the health thing, you know, if you guys want to look good, keep your kidneys healthy, because, you know, that's the biggest mover in terms of, you know, being able to excrete water properly and get dry on stage, that kind of stuff. So
it's almost like healthy bodies work better.
Yeah, you grow better when you're healthy.
Yeah.
I think it's insane if you're going to do contest prep with CKD. I mean, the shit you do at the end of a prep is not great for your kidneys anyway. Dehydrating yourself, diuretic use.
Yeah, you want to go into a show with solid kidney function, because if you're, you know, using, you know, the L word, I don't know if we can mention that diuretic, but you know, hydrochlorothiazide or whatever, you know, it's going to reduce there too, because you're making your blood thicker, you know, you're dehydrating yourself. So
for sure.
I'm going to slide.
Go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say, I'm going to slide EQ up in my B+ spot just to be a contrarian.
One thing I will say about boldenone is that it works really well for hypertrophy. Like, it will put muscle on you.
For sure.
So, I mean, there's that, you know, there's that for sure.
Better than Tren?
I guess it depends on the dosage, right?
I'm going to slide Tren in the trash barrel for me. That's what I'm going to do.
I can't run Tren anymore, but
useless.
I'll run double for you guys.
Isn't Tren another one that has some acute effects on kidney function, but it's very acute and then it stops, right? Like it's like during usage it affects.
I think I've seen Tren dramatically affect kidney function.
Right.
Nothing crazy for me, but
it's not as bad. I mean, I think if you use a lot of it, like, it's just such a strong androgen. And I kind of talked about this in the video, like those two types of kidney damage, you know, the AR mediated kidney damage at the kidneys, or the, you know, hyperviscosity damage just from having like thicker blood, basically. And anything that like binds really strongly to the androgen receptor, you know, can cause, you know, fibrosis in the kidneys and a reduction in filtration and stuff like that over time. But for some reason, boldenone seems particularly good at causing damage to the kidneys above and beyond even, you know, what Tren does. So, you know, it's a weird thing. I couldn't tell you why. I think it has some kind of conformation at the androgen receptor that just makes it, that 1-2 double bond just makes it particularly bad for whatever reason in the kidneys. But, you know, it's sort of a who knows type of situation.
On the
Probably a
scientific
combination
evidence suggests that it is nephrotoxic, and I don't know that there is direct nephrotoxicity evidence on any other compound that I've read about.
There is, yeah, they're all nephrotoxic for sure.
I mean,
but
any
to like
androgen, right?
Yeah, any androgen. Yeah, it's sort of like to what degree they're nephrotoxic. And when you look at the animal data, there's rodent data on basically all these drugs for the most part, and the other ones don't seem as bad. And you look at the rodent data in boldenone specifically, and it's pretty nasty. It's not good. So, you know, there's that. So that's kind of a red flag. But I think Paul's anecdotal information is probably more useful than the rodent data, frankly. You know,
Well, Mike experienced it personally.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did a lot of research after my experience. I probably should have done more research before my experience, but yeah, it is particularly more nephrotoxic than just about anything else out there.
How much were you running, and what did it go up to, your cystatin C?
Well, I was trying to get it. You run it 1-to-1 with testosterone, and that just wasn't going to happen. I got as high as 900 milligrams a week, and I stayed there for about a week before I started just cutting it back, because it was just, and it was right about by the time I got to that dose, it was, you know, like 7-8 weeks in, about the time you really start feeling it. So I was stupid strong and super swole, but I just felt like total garbage. And my cystatin C got up to 146, I think.
Oh, wow.
1.46, yeah.
Sounds about right.
Oof.
Your blood pressure was terrible as well.
It was. My blood pressure was really bad, and I couldn't get it under control. So normally I've never really had too much of a problem getting my blood pressure under control, but I just couldn't. I couldn't take enough telmisartan.
Well, when you
Just
have
so you guys know, if you do that, because I think there's a good drug to solve that problem. If you take a lot of boldenone and then potentially crank your hematocrit up really high, and you have this problem where it's got this long half-life, and your red blood cells are sticking around for a while, in that case, you can use pentoxifylline, 1,200 milligrams per day to increase your red blood cell deformability and reduce the viscosity a bit, and that can cause, or that can reduce some of the damage associated with it, just as like a band-aid while the stuff comes out of your system, and that'll make you feel a lot better acutely within like 2 or 3 weeks. So,
Okay, never heard that one before.
Yeah. And the other thing that to consider with boldenone, and I'm sure for some competitors, it's relatively cheap, so and very easy to source. In today's world of the mass primo drought of 2025, I know multiple people that have anecdotally been like, man, I used to do mass primo, I can't find it, I'm doing EQ now.
It's the only
There's
reason
that.
why it's part of the conversation right now is because of the mass primo shortage. No one ever turned back to that compound because arguably it doesn't necessarily work better in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
Man, I think
at the same. Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
All right, go ahead.
I think at the same like milligram dosage, boldenone will probably put on more muscle. But then Primo will, but you have that downside there, with the hematocrit and all the other things. When you crash your estrogen on that stuff, it lasts forever. It's like you're not fixing it.
Yeah, definitely. It takes months.
I've experienced.
I had a guy on my podcast, Matt, who crashed his estrogen down to like 4 with boldenone, and he had to like bring in estradiol valerate to fix it. It's that kind of stuff where like you're just crashed for months. It's horrible.
Well, you have
either take estrogen or suffer.
Exactly.
Low estrogen, hematocrit is 60, and then the direct nephrotoxicity of the drug. All 3 of those can't be great.
And then you have that estrone metabolite floating around too.
Yeah.
Which causes a whole host of other issues. So it's really complicated, like metabolically speaking, because it's so similar to testosterone in terms of its structure. It just has that 1-2 double bond on the front. So it goes through all the same pathways that testosterone goes through, right? But it makes slightly different metabolites than testosterone would. Your body doesn't know how to deal with them. So you have this kind of mess floating around in your body with all this weird stuff that can cause a lot of problems because it's just slightly different enough than testosterone to create all those weird metabolites. So that's another thing. It's just a very, very complicated drug, like metabolically speaking, because like for Tren, it's basically just Tren. It has one metabolite, 1 or 2 active metabolites, but they're basically nothing. It's very resistant to metabolism, but with boldenone, it just kind of turns into all this random stuff. You have downstream aromatase inhibitors, you have estrone being produced, or an estrone metabolite being produced that causes some problems there, and then you have the kidney toxicity. So it's just messy, you know what I mean? There's just a lot going on, and it's not a beginner friendly thing, right? Because it's so complicated.
What do you think causes the rebound? Like when your estrogen does come back, it comes back like ridiculously.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to probably pin it down for you. I think it's got potentially a suicide inhibitor in there, metabolite. We don't know if it's being produced in high enough quantities to necessarily cause any aromatase inhibition, but it has sort of 3 metabolites. You got 1-AD, you got ADD, and then you got ATD. And those two, 1AD and ATD, are produced downstream of ADD. So you have kind of a complex situation with inhibiting aromatase, where you have potentially a suicide inhibitor on top of a regular aromatase inhibitor, and it also reduces gene expression of aromatase. So it stops aromatase from being produced in the first place. So it's like hitting it from 3 angles essentially. So some of that messiness might be why you see like a rebound specifically with it, but I wouldn't be able to like give you an exact mechanism, because all of this is like either animal data and extrapolation. So it's kind of unknown, but I would say that generally speaking, it's just sort of the messiness, and it's one of those things that's causing those problems. But I wouldn't be able to tell you which. So.
Man, I think back to all the guys in the early 2000s, man, it was test a shit ton of equipoise and anadrol. That's what everybody did.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No wonder so many of these guys are roasted now.
Yeah, and they look like lobsters. You can also see like if you look at a guy's back and you see the hypoxia, you get like see guys with like blue backs basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know their hematocrit's a little high because you can see the muscles getting hypoxic from the thick blood essentially. So
It's
kind of
visually
interesting.
apparent. It's like, oh wow.
You can see it. Yeah, just
wow.
go around the gym. Yeah, go around the gym. Look at guys'
uh,
backs. You'll see a little blueness, and that's usually the hematocrit being a little too high.
If I do that, I'll have to be discreet because I'm gonna get stares.
Yeah.
Look at your back. Look at your own back first.
Yeah, go up and ask him, hey man, what's your hematocrit?
Let me see your back for a second there.
Yeah.
Flex and let me see your back.
Guys usually
I
wear
remember at
shirts
the
in
end of
gym.
my last contest prep, when I would practice posing, my chest would get blue.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that's what
I'd
that
have the
is.
little blue spots on it.
Yeah, that's
that ain't good.
hypoxia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think Steve was actually the first to talk about this, so I have to give him credit. He talked about it on a podcast like a long time ago, and I put that together.
I remember he was training with Chase, and Chase was having the blue spots on.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it just happens when you get bigger too. Like your body just can't provide enough oxygen to the amount of muscle mass that you have.
Oh.
So it's not necessarily always a hematocrit issue, but it's kind of an indication that like, okay, maybe something's going on here where you're not getting enough oxygen to your body.
If it's something happens when you get bigger, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Just imagine what's
Same
going
here.
on in your brain.
Yeah.
If you're that big, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hematocrit can also cause like hypoxia in the brain too. So that's, a lot of the anxiety that I think we see on Boldenone could potentially be attributed to high hematocrit as well.
Oh, so it's not directly neurotoxic as in affecting the brain directly, but the hypoxia then affects the brain? Is that
All the above.
All the above,
all
yeah.
together, all of these things? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Even
So if you guys ever get around a giant tank of CO2, inhale it, and you will get you'll have a panic attack almost acutely.
wow.
So people, so like low
That sounds
oxygen
awesome.
states.
Let's do it, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I did this for science, but low oxygen
way.
states will give you anxiety like acutely. And your
Yeah,
body,
because
when
it's
your body
actually
senses-
it's the buildup of too much CO2 more so
exactly.
than
It's not
lactose
low oxygen.
Yeah.
It's the buildup of CO2. Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're low oxygen, you're way past suffocating.
This is not medical advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I assume that your body instinctively knows something's very wrong, and that's why it reacts the way it does, right? I mean,
Yes.
survival.
That's also why.
because it
why,
thinks you're
like,
gonna die,
breathing
basically.
exercises.
Right.
Yeah, that's why like breathing exercises where you extend your exhales and things actually does physiologically calm you, because it changes the ratio of gas exchange from the CO2 to the oxygen, and it signals to your brain to be parasympathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I love talking to you guys and learning all this stuff. This is amazing. Like, I'm dead serious. Like when I said,
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Appreciate it.
For sure.
So that anxiety thing, a lot of people, I think that like the general consensus is, because we have this sort of extrapolation from guys that are, essentially, endurance athletes, right? And, you hear like Lance Armstrong, basically would take EPO to make his blood thicker, and that would increase oxygen delivery. So people think more red blood cells, more oxygen delivery, right? But that kind of only works in the larger blood vessels in the body, the like microvasculature. If you try and put really thick blood through them, essentially you get hypoxia in all of the tissue that those connect to, and a lot of that microvasculature is in the brain. So if you're running like a 60 hematocrit, you can get like hypoxic just from the blood not getting to where it needs to get. So there's kind of like a misconception here in bodybuilding where it's like, oh yeah, like I'll just raise my hematocrit and I'll be able to do, high rep squats better. And that's like not the case at all. It works to a point. After like 52, it's diminishing returns, and it can even impair it at a certain point. So, that's something that I feel like people need to hear, generally speaking, that are listening, that like, higher hematocrit doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have better endurance. You know what I mean?
Keep your body as healthy as possible.
Right. So there's a reason for that, that number, what is it, around 55 that we start really early? Around 55. Okay.
I think 54 is like the limit, but I wouldn't run any higher than 52. I don't know. You guys are like more experienced in coaching than I am. But like I think 52 is kind of where I'd cut it.
Yeah, I rarely see people. But most of the time, I would say the large majority of people that are running beyond TRT doses, they're all in that 53 to 55 range, usually.
Yeah,
most of them.
Yeah,
Once in a while, you'll get an anomaly like Dave, who never gets high hematocrit.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm lucky.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the data that you see people living at altitude, when they're at like 7,000 feet all the time, they usually get up around 52, and that doesn't seem to increase like stroke risk or anything or health outcomes negatively.
But at that point, it becomes like an environmental adaptation, right?
You
just
exactly.
About taking anabolic steroids as well as being up at high altitudes,
Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah, I've seen that before. Like guys living, high altitude, and then they're on boldenone and they get to like 63. That's not good.
Is there any value of that logic in training, like for an extended period of time? If you normally live, 1,000 feet sea level, is there any point in going 6 months training somewhere high altitude? Do you get any kind of advantage or performance benefit out of that, or does
I
your body
think it's natural for sure. Yeah, if you're natural for sure, and you're an endurance athlete, that's what the Olympic guys do. The Olympic training center is at high altitude, I think.
Okay,
it's in Colorado Springs, so it's around 6,000 feet.
So that's already like built-in advantage or idea why they're doing it there. Okay.
Yeah, and it really
There's
only
an upper
works.
limit of it, though.
Yeah,
if you're training above 8,500 feet, you start to lose the benefit. So if you look at studies of like, not Army Rangers. Why is the name escaping me? But it's basically the division of the Army that trains at high altitude, and they found that training above 8,500 feet, you don't gain additional benefit. So like for me, growing up at 9,800 feet, I don't have like additional benefit of someone who is at like say 7,500 feet above sea level.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think that really only applies to endurance athletes. I mean, for us, like, I mean, this is kind of, we can talk about the cardarine thing, but it's like, I feel like a lot of the time it's like, why are we taking these medications to increase endurance where we're bodybuilders? We don't really, need to do that. Just take more rest in between sets. You'll be fine. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So
for sure.
Just take more cardio.
What I'm hearing from all of this is just take Tren, right?
Just take Tren. Tren and test.
Tren
test. Little AI.
Tren and test. No mass, no primo, no love for those. For us old folks, especially.
I think, okay, maybe I'll piss some people off here though, but
go for it. We like the clicks.
Well, like DHT drugs specifically get inactivated pretty quickly in muscle tissue through 3-alpha hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase. It's a pathway, like that's why like DHT is like more selective for prostate. Because the prostate doesn't have 3-alpha HSD in it, which can inactivate DHT. So you kind of have this thing where like a lot of DHT compounds, at least if I had to extrapolate, I mean, there's not a huge amount of data on this, but anything that's a DHT isn't going to work super well in muscle for hypertrophy. So I don't know. I think that might frustrate people. I mean, obviously, I think it's more of like a cosmetic thing. If that makes sense to you guys, I think like Masteron and Primo are I would see them more as cosmetic drugs and less as like primary growth drivers.
I mean, that kind of fits the anecdotal bro understanding. When you hear, at least I've heard a lot of people I'm relatively new to this. So a lot of the older individuals I talk to always talking about how Primo and Master not as anabolic as, say, the 19 Nors, or even Tren,
Or Boldenone
or
even.
just
Yeah.
Boldenone, exactly. That
Yeah.
they seem to like put more mass that way. This may be it right here, or one of the major reasons what you're
No,
describing.
I think it is. I think it is. I really think it is. I think because it gets those 3 alpha HSD enzymes are like very plentiful in muscle. They're kind of everywhere. So if your mast or your primo gets onto the androgen receptor in muscle, it's probably not going to stay there for a super long time. And really, the residence time on the androgen receptor is what drives a lot of the growth that we see with anabolics. So if it's just getting eliminated before it can really do its work there, it's probably not causing a huge amount of growth. Obviously you could just run more of it,
right. You just mitigate by adding dosage, right? But then that brings its own set of potential.
Then your estrogen might get too low, or
right.
So there's kind of a catch-22 there.
The bodybuilding way of dealing with it is just use it as an adjunct to testosterone. Testosterone is the driver.
Yeah, I agree. Testosterone should be the primary driver. You kind of want to just see that as the primary driver, from my perspective, at least.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I look at it too. And I look at Primo Bolin or Masteron as more of an adjunct to testosterone and growth hormone.
Yeah, I agree.
But
speaking of growth hormone, are you guys ready for the great hormone GH drought of 26 that's coming? Apparently,
is that a thing? I haven't heard about this.
It's be a thing. It's been all over Think Big Media, and I've seen it already on.
Steve's talked about it.
Yeah. It's apparently there's crackdowns
possibility
in between China and us, and we're not sure if it's the China. We don't know if it's at the production level or if it's at the Chinese export level or at our customs level.
It seems to be at the Chinese export level.
I talked to my I may or may not know a Chinese person. And I talked to her, and she says they are stopping everything in Hong Kong at customs and cracking down. And so anything that has HGH in it is getting seized. And they don't want to they're sending so many other peptides and everything out right now. They're just take HGH out of the mix because they don't want packages getting seized. So for whatever reason,
I've been told
Hong Kong customs.
I've been told you can really only get it from a USA warehouse.
What I heard,
USA warehouses are sold out everywhere. I looked yesterday, just out of curiosity, because everybody was talking about it, and I couldn't find. I found one place that had any in stock.
Yeah, I made a huge order yesterday, and just in the nick of time before that person said, we're out. So.
I thought it was Trump's tax thing that was causing problems, but I'm
sure it's not helping.
You just say whatever you need to raise the price. It's called black market.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know customs has been cranked down here in the U.S. too because of fentanyl.
But always,
right?
They've been inspecting a lot more packages and shit. But
even then,
well, I'm sure
it'll pop up somewhere else. I'm not too worried.
I'm sure Hong Kong customs cracking down is a direct result of something that our current administration has done. Probably not taxes, but just them wanting to crack down on peptides in general, like the whole Retatrutide thing. I feel like there's this. Here I go on my conspiracy theory shit. Let me get my tinfoil hat out, but
if it's real, is it a conspiracy?
Yeah, with Eli Lilly so invested in their newest GLP drug that shall not be mentioned by name on YouTube, and wanting to have a profitable release of that drug, and them getting into bed with this administration on Trump RX. I think there's some relationship there between the peptide crackdown. There is a bill in Congress right now that is basically an empty piece of paper that they're going to fill with whatever it takes to get it to pass. That is a peptide safety bill. I don't know about you, but I always curl up a little bit whenever my government talks about keeping me safe.
Yeah.
And these dangerous peptides that's got everybody running to the emergency room with overdoses and all these things. We got to make sure that people can't get their hands on them. So I think it all goes back to that Eli Lilly thing, and the pharmaceutical industry is wanting to control what peptides we get our hands on and which ones we don't.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a crackdown on that stuff. It's just like I see a lot of people repeating, like I've seen a lot of people like the whole dangerous peptide thing. Look, I get the sentiment, but like I've seen some, it's Twitter doctors, like the dangerous gray market peptides, and I'm like you would think if they were dangerous, the emergency rooms would be flooded with people with problems, and that's just not the case. Now, I'm not saying that they're without risk. I mean, anytime you're getting something that's gray market, there's always risk of contamination, heavy metals, all this other bullshit that could come along with it. I'm not saying it's zero risk, but I have not heard of anybody having issues, and I talk to a lot of fucking people. I will make the argument that I think a lot of them don't do shit.
Yeah, but ineffectiveness is not harm, though. And and I think what's getting really harm.
Well, if they're
the harm
stealing.
reduction is the profit margin. that's the harm we're trying to reduce. The harm to the profit margins of our big corporations, and that's not, Mike. To me, like that's not even conspiracy theory. That's just business is business, and he who has the gold can bend the rules, or make them play in their favor.
Yeah, there's not a coincidence with some of this stuff. You see there was actually an ad on the Super Bowl this year about dangerous gray market GLP-1s.
Spread fear and control a little bit of the laws.
I don't think people are buying it though.
Well, even Trump made a comment when he made the announcement for Trump RX, and he had his whole panel of people who had been working on it standing behind him, and he had executives from all the big pharmaceutical companies standing with him, and he even looked at the Eli Lilly CEO and said, yeah, and this great new weight loss drug that they're going to come out, next generation GLPs or whatever, and they're going to make it affordable for everybody, right? And he kind of smiles and nods at her. She's like, oh yes. And it was kind of ominous.
Have you guys heard about the new GLP, the one that's going to come out?
Is it a 4?
Quintuple.
Quintuple.
Yeah.
So what are the pathways? We have the 3 from that which shall not be named. Then we have myostatin inhibition. Maybe is that one?
I think it's also amylin and potentially something else. I forget what it was, but basically like CAG with
amylin's
the R word.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I would rather just dose the CAG separately with the R word,
and then you can combine dosages and
then you can figure out the ratio that works for you. Yeah.
If you need those 4, then you might want to just switch to the TERS and just use that because your appetite is terrible.
Yeah. Well, what I do, I don't know. I think the R word specifically tends to raise heart rate quite a bit.
Yes.
Really?
So I try to do the heavy lifting with the CAG. That way, you don't have to dose the R word as high and get some guys are getting 80 resting heart rate at night, which is a little much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Might as well just do Clen at that point, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and the issue is a beta blocker won't fix it.
Oh, he's got the thing for you.
I've got a fix for it.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Love it.
You can run ivabradine with it at night, and that will definitely fix it. But I will caveat that with saying that it's an incredibly strong heart rate lowering medication, and you have to be very careful. If your heart rate is already low, but below 60, absolutely do not take it because it can be dangerous. So just be careful. It's not as forgiving as a beta blocker.
Yeah, and the whole idea of taking a drug so I can continue taking another high dosage of another drug, I'm all for polypharmacy.
Better to switch to tirzepatide if your appetite's that bad.
Yeah, or use, like I said, or bring down the R word and then add in a little CAG instead of treating the issue downstream with another medication. I think.
Oh, and upping your cardio can help your heart rate as well. So.
Well, no one's going to do that, man.
The lifestyle, right?
I will.
Bite your tongue, Josh.
Like Steve says, live the lifestyle and you solve half your problems already.
Talking about heart rate, I think I might have to drop the Nebivolol, man. I've been on my contest prep, and I do hit cardio, and I can't get my heart rate over 100.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Interesting.
I mean, I can go as hard as I can fucking go, and it's like 100, 105. It's as high as I can get my heart rate.
Oh, yeah.
I have the same problem.
Although I'm cruising around, my resting pulse is down in the 50s now. It's never been this, and it's not like I'm small. I'm 275 right now.
Right.
For sure. No,
Mm.
you've got
Yeah,
enough
consider
mass
pulling
moving
those for
around.
sure.
The heart rate is a big thing a lot of people don't talk about. You know, it's a big issue. I feel like, you know, with this sport, as people are cruising around at 80 at night, and it's just
Shit,
not a good
80.
idea.
I've seen
Yeah.
guys
I would not
way
be
higher
able to.
than
I
that.
wouldn't be able to sleep at 70.
You can't sleep. Yeah, and that's a lot of the time, you know, people don't associate those two things, right? They just they don't realize, like, my resting heart rate is keeping me awake because I'm in a sympathetic state still, you know. So want to keep that stuff as low as possible. You know, lots of zone 2 brings it down, that kind of stuff.
Well, at least we're somewhat, you're right. We could all be more conscious in our cohort, but outside of our cohort, they're not even paying attention at all. And the people I'm talking to who are taking these GLP medications, whether it's TERS or the R word or whatever, and taking them at higher and higher doses because they feel like they're safe. They're not even watching their heart rate.
Yeah.
You know, and I had somebody check theirs the other day when they told me how much R word they were taking, and it was like 130. I'm like, dude, walk around with 130 heart rate.
I feel like they're on more than just R word. They might be on some Coke word as well.
130, like steady heart rate? Like just
People live
walking
like
around?
that. They don't realize it. It's wild.
Well, I had him put my Apple Watch on, and we checked it 3 times.
Yeah, that's a go to the doctor as soon as possible.
Yeah, that you're tacky at that point.
Yeah, I think like really anything over 90 you should look over with your doctor, but if you're over 100, then that's generally an ER trip.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's tacky, man. You need to be at the hospital.
Yeah, because you could just flip a rhythm and just say goodbye.
You could just keel over. Yeah,
So how many guys are running around on 6 to 12 units of Retta, not even thinking about what their heart rate is and having it be stupid high like that?
Yeah. And it's kind of it's not a good appetite suppressant. So you have to keep cranking it up. And, you know, at a certain point, the heart rate gets sort of untenable. And then, you know, you just keep cranking it up. And it's like, what are we doing here? You know, because it's just, it's not very good at appetite suppressing. So you just,
that's what I like about it. You can still eat on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that's the good
Hardcore.
part for bodybuilders, right? Yeah, you can still eat with that one. The other one,
Actually good
the
for
TERS,
bodybuilders.
as far as I know, shuts you off. I haven't had it, so that's why I don't buy it. 'Cause I'm like, I don't need to be shut off.
I
Holy
can
shit,
still
I was
eat on it on TERS. I'll be honest with you, but my problem is my appetite. I've always been able to pound it down. So
Holy shit, I was going to tell you guys, I hadn't tried SLU, and I was kind of dubious about SLU. I tried 500 micrograms, made me feel okay. I don't know, I felt a little bit. And then a buddy of mine gave me some high dose pills, and I tried 50 yesterday.
50.
Yeah, I tried 50. Yeah, because, you know, what is Steve running? 200?
Oh,
100.
maybe even 4. It might be 4.
Yeah, I did
Not running
500
anymore.
for a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did 50. My shirt, I was sitting here working yesterday. My shirt, I felt like it was on fucking DMP, man. My shirt was just soaked. My head was
Like, is it a
wet.
cotton shirt or is it like a polyester shirt, like workout shirt, and it shouldn't be that bad?
It was I only wear microfiber usually.
Yeah, me too.
My head, I had beads of sweat all over my head. I had to take my hat off. It
Did
was
you check your temperature to see if you were smoking?
No, I didn't. I'm like, I'm not doing this tomorrow. Holy fuck, man.
I'll cut it in half and try it.
I've been on
A
100
buddy of mine gave me
milligrams.
some
for this
5
whole
milligram
prep.
pills. I tried 10 of them. I was like, let's just see.
Jeez.
Yeah, all the rodent studies are at way higher doses.
Right.
When you
Yeah.
actually calculate them out.
I mean, maybe just smoke crack like a real man at this point.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like I said, I'm on 100 milligrams this entire prep, and I don't really feel like it's any more extreme than doing a couple milligrams like when I first started dabbling with it last year.
Maybe try closer to 500. See if that cranks it up a little bit.
Is it additive to your clean? Because everybody's on clean at this point, right?
Yeah, I'm on clean too, but yeah, it's what I'm saying is that I get the effect at the same effect at 2 milligrams as I do at 100, right?
Oh,
Like I still feel the thermogenic effects of exercise.
Oh, you do?
By the time you get off the cardio machine and you've gotten yourself into a sweat and you're in that thermogenic effect of exercise, it hangs out for a while. If I go and sit at my desk and work, I'm just like Paul's saying, I'll be sweating for the next 2 hours just sitting there after doing 30 minutes of fasted cardio on 100 milligrams or on 2 milligrams. It doesn't seem to make a difference.
Yeah.
Josh is right. It is pretty wild to see the variance in response. I get some people that take it and say they don't feel shit.
I barely feel at 5 milligrams, but I've never played around. I'm very risk averse.
I would imagine if you're not feeling anything from it, there's got to be something fucked up with your mitochondrial function, right?
Probably.
Or your source.
Yeah,
Right.
I would probably say it's a source.
That's a whole other set of concern, right? You know,
My concern with it is that there's just not human studies on this stuff. You know?
Yeah, I know. I heard Dean talk about some worry of cancer.
I'd rather use stuff that has safety data. You know, that's at the end.
Yeah, I generally stick with. I just wanted to try it. I don't think I'm going to be running it.
Yeah.
I think it's like, is it better than modafinil? Do people use modafinil still, or is that one gone out of the wayside?
Not
I'm
for
on
fat burning.
modafinil right now.
Yeah, I'm on modafinil as we speak. But I take it for the cognitive function. So
Yeah, I have some modafinil. I run it a couple days a week. Like if I really need to be productive,
Okay.
I'll use it for focus.
You guys use memantine or anything like that? Donepezil, one of those.
I've
I
got
really
a
like-
kind of an interesting nootropic stack if you guys want to hear
Yeah.
about it. But I don't
Yeah,
know
let's-
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, these guys
Let's
love
hear
to
it.
have brain stuff.
I take Parnate, which is a non-selective monoamine oxidase inhibitor, which is kind of the main mover for productivity, and that's not advisable for everybody because you have to stick to a pretty strict diet, or you can have a hypertensive crisis if you eat tyramine.
Okay.
Anything with like fish sauce in it or cheese.
Cheese, right? Yeah.
But I eat like a bodybuilder, so it doesn't matter. But Thailand was pretty rough on that stuff, I'll tell you that. Because there's like fish sauce in every single dish, and I got high blood pressure a couple times.
how do you spell that? Carnate.
Parnate, Parnate.
Yeah, because you might as well write it in the chat for everybody. Everyone's gonna write it down.
And you have to be really careful of anything serotonergic on it, because you can get, a serotonergic crisis and have to go to the ER. So you have to have ciproheptadine on you as well. To make sure that's okay, but that's a really good cognitive enhancer, generally speaking. It's used for major depressive disorder, but not advisable for everybody. I think it's definitely something I want to make clear.
Mhm.
And then I usually run a little modafinil on top of it with some memantane and a couple other things.
For those of you that use modafinil, I've never tried it. Is it similar to Adderall? No.
No,
Okay.
it's not a central nervous system stimulant.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just in your brain, like just mentally.
This is mental. Okay.
It's
Interesting.
not as like Adderall has that sort of adrenaline feeling where you're like, oh, I got to go do stuff. But modafinil is more, it's like a little smoother. It feels less like dirty in that sense.
Is it like Anadrol for thinking?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I would say that.
I wonder, does modafinil have a use case for ADHD? Because
Yeah.
I'm prescribed
Oh, yeah.
Adderall XR10 is what my doctor has me on, the lowest dose.
I like it better
But
than Adderall. You don't get the crash.
Yeah.
And
But,
then
but
the
my
cognitive
point being,
stuff is
like when I
not
take it,
simple.
I don't feel it though at all. Like, so the modafinil may be better, not a stimulant, right? So if it helps with the ADHD cognition piece.
Yeah,
can
I
remove
personally
that.
don't feel stimmed out from if I take modafinil, even like I've taken 200 before. I don't feel stimmed out or anything from it. It just feels like clear, just a little bit more focused.
Well, and I'm thinking even at a low dose that Adderall is still a stimulant. If I can remove it and get the cognitive benefits, which is what I take.
Mhm.
Tanya, have you
It's
done
easier on
Anadrol?
your body. Modafinil is easier
Yes.
on your body because
Exactly.
Adderall is going to affect
think?
adrenaline everywhere and kind of increase your heart rate and kind of cause
Yeah.
problems everywhere. But modafinil feels like it's more kind of up here, so you have that less of that concern, especially when you're running androgens. and
Thank you
stuff
for.
on
I'm
this stuff.
definitely going to talk to my GP about that and see if we can do the
Yeah.
switch then.
That is an off-label use though for the drug. So you.
Oh, is it? That's not the.
No,
No, it's prescribed for narcolepsy.
narcolepsy. Yeah.
After a drug is prescribable, you can use it for pretty much anything. There's a few caveats, of course, but for the most
Okay.
part.
And there's very little that is actually prescribable for ADHD or autism. Everything that we get prescribed is like off label.
Right, yeah, which is a lot of mental health disorders are like that, because you never know what combination you need. It's
Well,
I've
most of these
tried
primary
all of
care doctors are so scared to do anything that's outside of the treatment protocols that are given. you know.
Thankfully, yes.
It's hard to convince them. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right.
And this
Do
is
we want
not
to grab
medical
some
advice, people.
questions?
Wait, molecular.
Sure.
How much do you bench?
Like 315 right now. But I could bench 405 back in the day. But I'm just on TRT, taking it easy right now. I haven't worked out in 2 weeks because I've been too busy with all this craziness. So
Your new
Congratulations. All right, let's go.
All right, let's get some questions.
All right. So there was a lengthy discussion. We'll hit the member questions first from Dalton. He was asking about his thyroid levels, and he and Tanya kind of went back and forth a bit, but we'll get some more opinions, I guess. Reverse T3 is 35. Free T3 is 2.3. He is on 25 micrograms of T3. Free T4 is 0.8. Cortisol is 24.8. 4 weeks out from a show. T3 is always low no matter the phase. Only blood work thing I can't seem to manage. He said he realizes he's not converting well, and also he was on 100 micrograms of T4, and his free T3 was still under the reference range.
So is he on 25 and 100 right now?
yeah. I'd say look at your diet too. Maybe getting a little more iodine.
Iodine, that's what I was gonna
Iodine,
say.
selenium. Yeah, that's
All these bros eat sea salt, man, and they get no iodine in their diet. at
I don't
all.
know
Dude,
where the sea salt thing came
Thankfully,
from.
someone's saying this. Oh my god, I've been
sea
saying this
salt,
for like 2
pink
years.
Himalayan salt.
I don't know why everybody is obsessed with all these fancies. Just have table salt. You need
Yeah.
iodine.
Yeah, I've been telling guys,
Seriously.
I've been warning guys about this all the time. I see also all the time on blood panels. I get guys get iodine levels checked. Everybody's iodine deficient. Like half the dudes I run into are iodine deficient, and I think it's from they're eating their chicken and rice and using their pink Himalayan sea salt on it, and they don't. It's not like people are rolling around eating beets all day long.
And these guys are working out a lot.
Yeah, and then they end
And-
up with no iodine. They
I know-
basically have fucking none.
I know Dalton's into really cool, interesting meals like I am. A good way to get iodine is seaweed. You can get the dried seaweed sheets and crumble those into like a poke bowl. That's a lot of iodine right there.
Yeah.
Huh. That's a good
Oh
one.
yeah. Okay, so he uses iodized salt, so that's not his issue.
Okay.
If I ever start a supplement company, I'm making new salt, the potassium chloride, with iodized potassium chloride, which would be fantastic.
That would be
for
yeah,
bodybuilders.
that'd be great actually.
So free
And a
game
little
if anyone wants to
magnesium
steal
too,
my
maybe?
idea. What?
A little magnesium too, maybe.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
If we could offer the rock salt type, the grainier, larger salt with iodine, I will bet you would kill in the South American market, because that's what we use in Argentina and Brazil for all the steaks and all those cuts. Of,
That's the good salt. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the good salt. Yeah.
That's what gives it that.
You gotta have
flavor.
both. You gotta have both.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, instead of making fruity electrolyte drinks, maybe we need to make an electrolyte food enhancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these electrolyte drinks have way too much sodium in them. And
Yeah.
we just don't, as bodybuilders, we don't need to be consuming tons of sodium all the time. It's like,
We should be having a good
always-
amount of sodium throughout the day. We don't need an extra 5 grams in our
yeah,
pre-workout.
exactly.
It's
Because a
another
lot of
one that-
people, their ratios are all screwed up. Their potassium to sodium ratios, like the sodium's in the high end of the reference range and the potassium's like near the bottom. You want it to be the exact opposite.
That's another one that drives me nuts, man. Is the bros hammer it, and then they wonder why they're hypertensive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you might not even have to take an ARB if you just deal with your electrolytes, 9 times out of 10.
I all of my clients, I have them do light salt with with potassium in
Me
it.
too.
I just
Like you're already
Iodine
measuring your
glycol.
food anyway. It's not that much of an extra step to also weigh out your electrolytes for the day.
That's fair.
Yeah. And if you want to do it like easy mode, you just get the new salt and then mix that with sodium, like 1/3 sodium, 2/3 new salt, and that'll pretty much get you where you want to be for most people.
That's kind of what I do, because I'll just do like regular salt, like to whatever ratio I need with light salt, and I'll mix that and I'll weigh that out for my whole day the day before, and that's it for the day. And I just use salt-free stuff to flavor stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good way to do things. And that way you don't have a concern with getting potassium too high, because that can be dangerous also. So if you like I see a lot of people like ordering bulk potassium citrate and then mixing it into all their water and stuff. Bad idea unless you really know what you're doing. What you want to be doing is doing the new salt, because that way at least it's absorbing slowly, so you're not getting this huge spike of potassium that can be potentially fatal if you're not careful. And you know, it's a little more dummy proof because you can't put it in everything, you know, you're drinking essentially, which can get out of hand very quickly if you're drinking a lot of water all the time. So just be careful there for anybody that's listening. You know, potassium citrate can cause a lot of problems.
All right, what do we got up next?
All right. So also from member Chad Wallace, in your opinion, how and why would coach recommend a bodybuilder to utilize EQ? You still hear a lot of people using the drug. Thanks.
I don't. I'm persuaded. I mean, Chad's one of my clients. I've been leaning guys away from it. I mean, maybe if you're a young competitor who's trying to compete in the open or something, like if you're in your 20s and resilient, I mean, maybe you could evaluate it, but I think there are better options. Especially like, you know, Chad's an older guy. A lot of my audience and people that follow me, I'm like, I think if you're over 40, you're probably crazy to use it.
I agree.
Everybody I talk to who does use it with some success and not incredibly terrible blood work is using it at pretty low doses. You know, like
that's what I was going to say too.
300, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, 200 is the limit. Yeah, 200, 300 is the limit. Yeah, exactly.
And I do have one client who's still on it at 150 milligrams.
I mean,
that's not going to cause any issues, generally speaking, for most people. 150 is fine. It's just when you get up in like the 600, 500, 900 range that, you know, starts to be pretty bad.
All right. And Chad also asked, if you were on a cut, would you recommend continuing SLU or discontinue it?
Continue.
I mean, cuts when you want to use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't run it 365 days a year. That's another thing that I don't understand. I mean, maybe likely you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like anything that's going to raise AMPK and lower mTOR, I don't know if it's great for a growth season if you're trying to grow.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's an argument that it's not great for cut season for that same reason. And there's like he said before, there's not enough research on the compound to know exactly how those dynamics are going to work.
I think there's just better, like safer options. You know what I mean? Like if we want to increase our metabolic rate, like there's plenty of things that can do that have human data that we, you know, don't necessarily need to be messing with these drugs that have never been studied in humans. That's kind of my take. I don't know. I'm really big on the safety thing, you know, and just, we don't know what's going to happen, you know, 10 years from now if you stay on this stuff for years at a time. So.
Okay, sure.
We do know that none of the rats get out alive from these studies, but other than that,
yeah,
they all die.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got up next here?
Next one from Androgen Receptor. Does injectable AOD 9604 actually work or is effective for fat loss in reality?
No.
So many other things you can do, man.
Absolutely not.
Spend your money on.
Just take HGH.
Just take HGH, guys.
GLP, then HGH.
Yeah. Same with those fragment HGH things. It's like, just take the GH.
If you can get GH, that's what you would.
I don't think it does shit.
Yep.
It lightens your wallet. It teaches you a valuable lesson.
It's very slimming to your wallet for sure.
Although
and that's
now
also
with
the same
HGH shortage, you might not have a choice.
Save your money and just buy more tests. If
I was gonna say, like, this is just burning money thing, AOD.
Oh God, everybody's going to be panic buying GH now, and then there will be a shortage.
I was gonna say we're gonna make a
That's
shortage. That's what I'm
already.
saying. This
Yeah.
is just
Everybody stop
marketing.
talking about it.
Once they realize what they could do with the Master on Primo thing, and they're already jacking the prices up on you guys. Now they're like, oh, we can do this with testosterone. Oh, we never made any money on testosterone. Here we go.
I think, thank God, I already had mine, so I'm good.
Same. Same. And just
Trend
stockpiling
prices
more.
have remained stagnant, so you know.
The big argument for these things with people who want to do things like fragments and stuff like that is the HGH, the belief that HGH causes cancer, right?
Right.
Which is, very shallow, short-sighted sort of belief, right? So
Yeah, and if you're worried about it, just get a Pernuvo scan once every couple of years.
there you go.
You get one of those, a full body MRI. Just make sure, you don't have any little nodules, and if you do, get them checked out, and then you're good.
Yep. That'll work.
Yeah, well, it grows tissue indiscriminately. So if you have a tumor, it will grow a tumor. But there's a lot of other things like testosterone that will do the same thing by boosting your HGH. So it's not like it's more dangerous than anything else.
I would think the main thing is you don't want to be rolling around with super high IGF-1, right?
I think if you have a history of cancer, they usually jam your IGF-1 below like 170, if they control it at all.
But then we're talking about super physiological doses. We're not talking about
if you're a bodybuilder, you're not going to be worried about this kind of stuff. But yeah, if you're somebody with cancer doesn't want to take GH because they're worried about increasing their cancer, you're looking at an IGF-1 of like 170. That's like your safe zone or safer.
Yeah.
And obviously never outside of the whatever 270 limit.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So next one from Lord Space Pimp. Good day. What do you think
Wait a
about
minute. Run that by again. Lord Space Pimp?
Lord Space Pimp?
All right.
That is an
Lord
epic,
Space Pimp.
epic name. I love it.
username of the week
When's
right there.
the best username of the day.
Lord,
It goes
We
along with the
know-
photo for sure.
it's got to be
Anything
back
that-
next week. Somehow Lord
Anything that-
Space Pimp returned.
Anything that follows is just going to be a letdown. Let's go. Lord Space Pimp.
This question is, what do we think about Mabergra? I can never say this.
Mabegron.
During a
Mabegron.
Mibigron. Mibigron.
It's like a word that shouldn't be said.
Big run.
Yeah.
Lift big rock.
During a cut.
Look, the big Ron thing. Whatever. That's the
So
one
that's
that
the,
aids with urinary stuff. Also,
Okay,
that
so
has
if
an
I
effect.
remember it, it's the one that should make you oxidize fat instead of carbs. It's generally used for like serious heart failure issues.
It agonizes the beta 3 androgenetic receptors, which are the ones in your bladder and your fat tissue. So
you'll
theoretically,
sleep longer.
yeah, you can potentially burn more calories and not pee as much at night on it, which is kind of nice.
Big improvement on sleep.
Yeah, but you have to run it higher. Like the clinical dosing is 50 milligrams for overactive bladder, I think. And usually I think you have to run it closer to 150, which can raise your heart rate a little bit. Because it's not, it has some spillover to the beta 2 adrenergic receptors. So it does a similar thing that Clen does at a certain point when you start increasing the dose high enough. But it seems like even at 150 milligrams, it's a little more well tolerated on the heart than Clen is. So you can get some extra fat burning there. I think it's a really good add-on if you're just one of those guys that, has a massive prostate from years of this stuff and you pee frequently. You can throw that in to get some extra calorie burning and potentially not have to urinate as much at night. So that's kind of a nice little bonus.
Would you recommend this? Like, I know, if I remember correctly, I know I do for sure. Masteron makes you go more frequently, it seems to me.
Yeah.
It's my bro science. Would this be a good adjunct or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because if at the end of the day, like if you can just like not pee 4 times at night, and you can improve
Or
your
have a
sleep
urinal
quality.
by your bed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can potentially recover a lot better if you're not doing that. So I think it's a really good add-on for guys like that potentially are like in a cut and just need to pee less, so.
And is the urination frequency, like if you talk to a general practitioner, would that be the complaint that you would present? Okay.
Yeah, that's what they'll prescribe it for, but they'll only prescribe it at 50 milligrams.
Okay.
And we want to run for like for the fat oxidation to like increase the fat oxidation in the brown fat. You have to run it like at 150, like 3 times that.
Okay.
So,
And
abusive doses for bodybuilding purposes.
yeah. Any side effects or things to be on the lookout?
No, it's pretty. Seems like it's pretty well tolerated for most people, but like I said, the heart rate thing is a little bit of a concern. So
I was prescribed it for a while before I had a procedure to shrink my prostate, and the main thing that caused problems with me, it stuffed my nose up super bad.
Oh, I've never heard that. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, it was fucking crazy, man. It sucked. Made my blood pressure go up too.
A little bit, yeah. You get a little extra blood pressure from it too. So
okay.
Impact on the NOS system, maybe.
And then they switched me to an alpha blocker, Tamsulosin. Yeah,
Flomax.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll mix that with dutasteride, so that's always nice.
I like Flomax. Made my eggplant look bigger.
Oh yeah.
Hang on, let me write that down.
That's the biggest selling point right there. Everyone's going to go out and get this stuff.
How much were you taking? Were you doubling your dose? Or
it just relaxes everything in that region, and it hangs a little better.
You got anything that tightens up the scrotum?
Yeah, now all of a sudden everyone's paying attention to the podcast.
No, testosterone is sweet. Well,
yeah, Dalton's got the comment right there. Okay. No,
yeah, I take it. I only take it at 50 milligrams, but I take it because my prostate is massive now, and I urinate too much.
I had a radio frequency procedure done on my prostate. It was a godsend.
Cool.
It was amazing, man. No more issues. Haven't had any in like 6-7 years.
Yeah, I'm looking into that right now.
Wow.
So, guys that are running anabolics for a long time, maybe consider a little 5-alpha reductase inhibition. So your
dutasteride at 2 milligrams will turn off your DHT completely.
Yeah, lower dose for sure. But I think if you're on like 600-700 milligrams of testosterone for a long period of time, you can kind of
ameliorate that saturation point for that one too. So I mean, you'll have to have a certain level.
I think you shut off like 70% of 5-AR at 0.5 milligrams with dutasteride, if I remember correctly.
It's every device is a little different, but yeah, no, you get a whole bunch of just 0.5. But if you want to get to 0, because you're taking more than 200.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next?
All right, next one is from Blex Wilkin. Does boldenone or nandrolone affect total test numbers?
Nandrolone on your non-LCMS tests is yes. It will read up on test. Boldenone, I'm not sure.
I think it will. Yeah,
probably.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that was easy. Tina wants to know how Tanya's feeling 3 weeks out.
Oh yeah.
I answered her in the chat, but I'll answer for you guys. I'm feeling good. We are under 3 weeks out now today, because yesterday was 3 weeks out, and we're at like 1,900 calories right now. I'm having 275 carbs a day, so we're feeding up, and I'm continuing to get leaner and harder. So I went up a couple of pounds, and I've kind of stabilized at 119 and just continue to look better, and feeling really, really good in the gym right now. So going really well.
Double bicep?
Yes.
Front double bicep.
Yeah, nice.
Wow.
Nice.
We can go.
Nice.
What's Steve?
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, and what show
looking forward to Amy's cookies.
What show are you doing, Tanya?
The Junior Nationals in Chattanooga.
Oh, that's right, because I'm gonna be there. Hopefully.
Oh yeah. So you're gonna come for sure?
Hopefully.
If I can, what's the date on it?
My kid? Yes, absolutely.
June 19th and 20th. The guys go on the 19th and we go on the 20th.
Awesome.
Is that a Saturday or a Sunday?
Yeah.
It's a Friday, Saturday.
Oh crap. Are you on Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. I might be able to make that.
Okay. We'll be obnoxious and bring like cards like, go Tanya.
Well, I'm off at 6 o'clock on Fridays and have Saturdays off next month. So,
Too aesthetic. I thought that you were probably doing that one, because I remember you were talking, I think, in the Think Big chat the other day, and you said you were doing Junior Nats. I think I had asked you which one you were doing, and you didn't see that, but cool.
Oh.
Nice.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, real good luck, guys.
All right. Next one is from Capio78. Never run test. Bought some in Thailand. Says his T levels are fine. but my free test is low. How do I know how much to run? Want to know what his idea of fine is, but he did not say.
I mean, start off with TRT doses, right? High in TRT. I don't know, 200 milligrams. It's usually where I'd start off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And low free test is usually SHBG.
Mhm.
There's a general practitioner fine, and then there's TRT doctor
Bodybuilder.
fine.
Yeah,
Those are two
and
different
bodybuilder fine.
Yeah.
I remember I took a 10-year break from taking steroids from 32 to 42.
You take steroids, Paul? Oh my God.
Allegedly.
I had no
Never
idea.
prove it.
I had somebody on the comments yesterday, you're a juice head. Nothing you say about diet means anything. And I'm like, is that supposed to be a put down? I don't,
A
like,
juice head.
you a juice head. I'm like,
Okay.
Well, imagine if you were juice head and then no one called you a juice head, how disappointed you would be in your physique.
you're in
It's just-
you're in 6th grade, dude.
someone's like, you should take steroids, dude. You look terrible. You're like, oh, fuck.
I remember going to my doctor. I was at 42. I went to my GP and I'm like, man, I don't fucking feel good, dude. I think I need to be on some TRT. And he checked my testosterone levels and they were 320, which I guess wasn't too terrible considering I've been off for 10 years and I completely wrecked myself.
Yeah,
from
your health
18
was
to 32.
yeah.
And he was like, no, those are normal. I remember
Okay.
my estradiol was high, almost as high. It was like in the high 100s. It's like 180.
I was gonna say I have
190.
mine. Mine was 630 and 46 was my estradiol. Do you remember yours at all? Because it's been like too long.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't feel good. And he's like, nah, you're fine. He's like, then he told me all this stuff about how testosterone causes heart attacks and cancer.
Well, we've got data on that not happening now.
Yeah, now we know it's not true.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I'll just do this myself. So I found a online source and self-prescribed my TRT. That's how I got back into I started seeing some progress in the gym again. I'm like, I think I want to do a bodybuilding show.
We'll continue.
Yeah, Joshua Salt had his test tested at 21. He was 310. His doctor said you're in range. Can you imagine how
Yeah,
crappy you
that's
feel?
like-
I mean,
That was like when I went and got because when I figured out I had hypermobility, there's a bingo card for me, hypermobility bingo card. And learned that okay, that usually comes with low growth hormone levels. I'm gonna go get my growth hormone levels tested and just see if I can swing a prescription, right? And probably not, but I was just gonna see. And my IGF levels were in the low hundreds. And he was like, yeah, this isn't gonna get prescribed for anything because this is in range. And I'm like, what, for an 80-year-old?
Yeah.
So just like you, I just did it myself.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel a lot better.
To be fair, they have medically healthy ranges of IGF-1 for long life, and a very low IGF-1 will give you a very long life.
I have mostly.
I don't want the
not
IGF of an
encouraging-
80-year-old.
I don't recommend it.
I'm not encouraging people to do this, but I have mostly had to solve my own medical problems.
Same.
I was told for years that I had an autoimmune disorder, and it turned out that I had Lyme's disease.
Oh, jeez.
I was told for years that I was a type 2 diabetic, and I'm like, how the fuck am I a type 2 diabetic and I'm 5% body fat on stage? How is that even possible?
I was told for years I wasn't hypothyroid when my TSH was 5.5.
Paul, did they
Turned
tell
out-
you you were type 1 or type 2?
They told me I was type 2, and then I
Essentially
never
figured it out.
once ran a C-peptide test, not once.
Mm-mm.
They were just checking A1C. My A1C was. I'm like, I weigh and measure every fucking thing I eat, man. There's no way.
There's
And
no
I
way.
did a
Yeah.
C. I did a fasting insulin test, and my fasting insulin was like 0.5. And the doctor was like, well, you know, that can happen. I'm like, no, I don't think that's right, man.
I don't think that's supposed to happen.
And then the C-peptide test was all fucked up. So I found out that I'm type 1.5 diabetic. I guess they just don't see it that often.
The first thing they should do is just be like, let me see your abs, you know.
Yeah.
And that's if
I
you
know a
have
lot of
visible
shredded
abs,
type
it's like
1
you're
as well.
probably not type 2 here, bro. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, it was really strange. And then I finally found an endocrinologist that works with me. And now we manage it. I'm on a basal insulin, and then I'll use Humalog once in a while, like if I push my carbs up. And I'm on a GLP-1. Well, I was on a GLP-1. I pulled it out because I just could. They had me on Manjaro, I couldn't fucking eat.
Yeah, Garrett just said like a lot of doctors consistently, tell his clients, that their LDL cholesterol isn't concerning, and they'll be at like 180, but because they're under 30 years old, they won't manage it for them.
That's
they won't give
crazy.
them ezetimibe or pravastatin or anything like that. And these the new guidelines came out, and it's kind of they actually started adjusting the risk calculators to manage people that were under 30. But until then, until just a few months ago, they basically wouldn't even look at you and manage your LDL cholesterol or ApoB, if you were under 30 years old, which is like criminal. It's horrible.
I can't tell you how many guys I've had come to me that have ended up having blockages all the time.
Yeah.
Like people get upset when I talk about managing lipids. Like I don't know why. That's another one that guys get really emotional about
because they're scared of statins.
Yeah, scared of statins, or they think it's a conspiracy theory to sell drugs. All this whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I don't think statins are that high profit for drug companies. They're not patented anymore. They don't make any money off of them. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I use Repatha. It's the monoclonal antibody,
man.
Yeah.
The injection one-time thing?
Yeah, it's so much easier because it's just an injection like every 3 months. You just go into the doctor's office, and my LDL stays below 70, basically indefinitely. I don't have to take another pill or worry about, any of this, the statin side effects, although they aren't really like a huge concern for most people, especially if you're using like a statin that's a little less intense, like pravastatin or, pitavastatin or something. That's
I'd just tell guys if they're worried, just run a hydrophilic statin.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think there's like we're worried about Alzheimer's. I love when guys are blasting Tren and eating ribeyes and worried about Alzheimer's. I'm like, come on, man.
That's one.
Yeah, to be worried about heart disease.
Like the most likely thing, you're way more likely to die of a heart attack or stroke if we're looking at statistics than you are from Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are a little lazy on the lipid end of things too, because it's not always an easy fix either. Sometimes there's a little bit more time and thought and effort that has to go into them, and some people are just kind of lazy and they make excuses for why they don't want to fix things.
Yep.
The way I look at it, and I was arguing with a guy the other day, was telling me how blood pressure meds are. He wasn't going to take them, and that 140 over 90 used to be the normal. And I'm like, bro, if you're rolling around with a 180 LDL and a 140 over 90 blood pressure while running PEDs, that's like riding a motorcycle 100 miles an hour down the street naked with no helmet on.
Yeah. It's like the
smoking
easiest
cigarettes
fix too.
to lose weight also used to be normal.
It's the easiest fix too. I mean, most of the bodybuilders are dropping dead from cardiovascular disease.
It's cardiovascular. That's the number one risk.
We don't have to do this as a community. We can just fix the problem. You just take a statin and take some ezetimibe and you're good. Like we're not like I keep all my clients below 70 LDL at all times. I look at it like with lipid management and blood pressure management, there is almost zero downside and all upside. Yep 100%. Yeah. The Alzheimer's thing, like if you actually look at the data, it's just since a lot of older people get treated with statins, especially high intensity statins, like rosuvastatin and stuff, like they're maxing out rosuvastatin in these people. And that population already has, quite a bit of Alzheimer's because they're already old and probably, have some peripheral artery disease and things like that, So, it's if you actually, I think they've done the back end calculations. Like if you actually control, like the numbers, you see that that's not really a concern. Like the Alzheimer's is not really a concern. That's kind of an overblown thing. So.
The main thing about statins is if you don't want to take a statin, that's fine. They have fibrates; those are different. Ezetimibe's different.
Yeah.
Statins, I think, were designed to basically work for you from 40 to 70, and then once you get around 70, you're supposed to stop taking them because the cell walls or the cell membranes that you're making aren't as good anymore. Losing coenzyme Q10 and ranitidine and something else. But like I said, you're getting slightly worse cells, but you're going to live longer with statins.
Yeah, and like this is why I'm such a fan of Repatha, because you just get rid of all those.
Yeah, I would say if you can get that stuff, do that. It's quicker.
You have to hustle the system, and I probably shouldn't go over that, but it's one of those things that, if you're motivated, you can get your doctor to prescribe Repatha. It's possible. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. You have to fail 2 other statins first, which is not hard to do if you know what you're doing. But yeah, I think that's the way to go, is just the Repatha, and some ezetimibe is usually sufficient for most people, because it'll really bring it down a lot.
Repatha.
Yeah, Repatha will kill it. Yeah.
Is Repatha good if you're a person that gets that achiness, muscle soreness from?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's not an issue with Repatha. Yeah.
Okay. Man, I'm getting a lot of this episode, guys.
Lots of
homework. Lots of homework. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like PSCK9 is what you're looking at, and then there's this HMG-CoA pathway that statins work.
Follow up on this Anavar give up. Would you suggest it for someone in the early 20s? I mean, if you have a lipid issue,
are you taking a bunch of anabolic steroids and those are causing lipid issues?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I look at it as like wearing a helmet, riding a motorcycle. I mean, it's just
if you can,
a lot of the studies, like if you keep your, at least in general population, not people using steroids, but if you keep your LDL below 70, most people physically cannot build plaque at that LDL. So it becomes not a concern. So if you're on steroids, you just run it below 70, and it potentially becomes less of a concern. It might be a little bit more because you're on steroids, but again, I think that's the way to go, is you can just eliminate that risk factor entirely and not have to worry about it. And then, and then you can manage all the other stuff too. But that's the big one. That's probably the biggest one.
I'm diabetic. I have genetic dyslipidemia, and I've had no problem keeping my LDL in the 60s and my ApoB in the 60s.
Yep.
And I'm just on 10 milligrams of rosuvastatin, 5 milligrams of ezetimibe, and I eat a low-fat diet and a lot of EFAs.
Paul, for you, pitavastatin might be better, just a heads up, because it doesn't cause any insulin resistance.
Yeah, that is a downside of the.
Yeah, so you can get the same LDL lowering effect with pitavastatin. It's pretty dang strong, without having, it's not like bad with rosuvastatin. Like, I don't want to scare anybody, but it's, every little choice.
It's a possibility with statins.
Yeah, it makes a little bit of a difference. So, it's worth looking into pitavastatin.
I'm only on 10 milligrams. My A1C, I just saw my endocrinologist last month. It was 5.5, which for me,
that's incredible for a type 1.
Yep.
I'm gonna hop off, guys. We'll see you later.
Right.
Bye, Mike.
Have fun.
Later.
Yeah, I've been up as high as 12, or not 12, 10 and a half, I think is the highest I've been up to.
Wow.
Yeah, I got, what was it, my last bodybuilding show, I got a little loose with my diet, and I was like half-assed with taking my insulin. Like, we went on vacation, and I forgot to bring my insulin with me.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I was fucking winging it. I'm like, if I just eat low carb and take walks, I'll be fine. And I went in for my next appointment. It was a 10.6. I'm like, nope, that's not good.
Yeah.
5 more points, you get to go to the hospital.
Jeez.
All right. Do we have any more? We want to get 1 or 2 more in.
Yeah, this one we can answer this one or two in one. So we had from Anavar give up everyone's favorite cosmetic orals before stage, and then also from aesthetic thoughts on Halo or Superdrol pre-contest, like pre-stage.
Well, first and foremost, you got to be lean enough for them to do anything.
Yeah.
There's no amount of Winstrol or Superdrol that's going to make you look better if you're 15% body fat.
Yeah.
So I would say you got to be lean enough to it depends on the look. I look at it this way. Like, I have levers I pull when I'm peaking people. If somebody, sometimes I'll even use Anadrol if somebody's flat as fuck. I'll use Anadrol to fill them back out if they're looking good. I prefer Winstrol personally, but I don't like running it for very long because it makes your joints feel like hell. And talk about hell in your lipids.
A lot of people forget with Winstrol on contest prep, like, you have to be super careful lifting. You have to, you better be training at 3 RIR always.
Oh, I think that's why a lot of guys end up tearing joints or tearing muscles and stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Happened to me. 100%.
So is Winstrol really just purely aesthetic use? There's no like lifting use for it?
Zero, I would say. Yeah.
Huh, that's what everybody says. I just wondered.
Yeah.
Wow.
But man, it'll dry you out. If I recall correctly, it basically just completely shuts down synovial fluid production. I
Sounds
remember
bad.
reading that in the study. Like you like make none
Yeah.
on it, and it has a very strong effect on the
It
mouth.
weirdly increases collagen synthesis a lot.
Right. That's what I've
Yeah, but
heard.
all
That's
the
what-
orals do, right?
But it doesn't. No, it's like stronger
It's
than everything
explosive
else.
on everything. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That one and EQ are huge with it for some reason.
Yeah, but it's like it's overshadowed by the fact that it just makes you so dry that you're brittle anyways. But it actually does increase collagen synthesis a lot, which is
Well,
kind
I
of
remember
I don't know.
back in the 90s and early 2000s, like all the speed, like track stars and shit were running it for speed, and like now I know why everybody was popping hamstrings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was that Ben Johnson who was famously on?
Yeah, he was on it, but that was just
Okay.
it was common in track and field.
Right. He just happened to get caught and had a big name, so we all know
Yeah,
about it.
I
I
mean,
guess.
they were all on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say be lean enough. Anavar. I mean, I think Anavar gets underrated, man.
Anavar's great.
If you're just
Anavar's-
trying to feel good and look good, Anavar. Superdraw, you just got to watch your liver, man. The Superdraw will fucking nuke your liver and quickly.
That was my first. That was my first cycle. Was Superdrol.
Oh, right. Was it
You
over
guys
the counter
remember
back
the GNC days when you could get that stuff over the counter?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when it was a pro hormone.
Yeah, when I was in like, was it high school in like 2010-ish, graduated 2010. That's when it was big over the counter, and the entire I was in like a weightlifting class, and the entire weightlifting class started taking it, and all these kids started throwing up numbers that were just insane, and our coach was just confused because
Your
we're
coach
throwing up
must have been like, I am the best coach ever.
yeah. These were like little skinny, 16, 17-year-olds, and we're throwing up like two plates overnight on bench press. And the guy's just like, what the hell's going on? And so the school nurse had to come in and do like a PSA because they started suspecting that we were all taking Superdrol. And she gave us like a really ill-informed class on steroids and told us all to stop taking them. And of course we didn't. And one of the kids that was taking it, he got jaundice because we were we're on this stuff for like 8, 9, 10 months at a time.
That'll do it.
The eyes were like getting yellow, and yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah,
Pretty.
we were fine though. We're young; it doesn't matter.
Halo. I tried following this question that's on the board, and I don't know. I found that it great for pushing when you're like in a deficit and you're tired and you have no energy. But it did make me an asshole a little bit. I'll be honest with you.
I don't think Halo has that profound of a look change on your look. I think it's great for a little more drive in the end at the gym. But I've gotten to the point now where I think for my prep this year, I am just going to run Winstrol the last 10 days, and that's it. And I'm not using any other orals. Maybe Anavar, but I think
A little
I'm just
Anavar, a
gonna-
little Winstrol. Yeah,
Can you take those two together in that use case of peak week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I've done it before.
Yeah, I'm a huge Anavar fanboy, so
Anavar though seems to I've had my HDL down in single digits after 6-8 weeks running Anavar.
that's daily. That's daily running it though, right? Not
Yeah.
pre-workout. And
we gotta remember with the HDL though, it's like not really causal for any bad outcomes unless it's associated with insulin resistance specifically. So it's kind of just a proxy there for people that are metabolically unhealthy, but like in terms of actually, having a low HDL, is that actually really that bad for you? Like,
Yeah. Well, with the amount of
mostly not.
steroids bodybuilders take, you just need to hammer the ApoB and the LDL.
Yeah, exactly. And like if your HDL is low, it's not. I mean, we all see that.
You can run it up, but literally running. But other than that, there's not much to worry.
I mean, if LDL is low, it's kind of a moot point, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Any old damage doesn't get cleaned up as well. But other than that, I don't know.
One spot I do like Superdrol though. I've had a few. I commonly have some people that do shows back to back. Right? They'll do, let's say, a show now, and then 2-3 weeks later, they're going to quickly do another show. And if conditioning is not perfect, and I got to kind of keep them tight and I can't really fill them out for show 1 and then hope to make an improvement for show 2 reasonably. When they're a little bit softer and a little bit, depleted down, throwing in super draws, done a pretty good job of giving them actually a pretty good tightness and more hardness, like a noticeable detail for show 1. And then I don't have to manipulate food as water as much, so that way I can peak a little better for the last show, the second show.
That's
so
interesting.
yeah.
How far ahead of the show do you do that, Dave? Like, just run it, say, the peak week, basically?
No, a little earlier. I mean, like 10 to 14 days.
1.5, 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you can put it in a low enough dose because you'll notice the effects, and then you can just kind of keep the dose low if you like what you're seeing, or if you feel like you need to play some catch up, you can kind of catch up by toggling the dose up and down, so 14 days gives me enough time to do whatever I want by just playing with dosage, really. And that works pretty good. You want to be careful too, because you can't run that like Anavar, where you're going to get 6+ weeks out of that kind of oral. Superdrill's not the thing I'd want to just have you on for a long time. It's a little bit more rough and harsh compound. And then some people,
it's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then I get some people, they feel not their best, on it for some reason. Maybe a little lethargic or just yucky is the best way I can really put it. And,
I mean,
that's called liver damage. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, and probably why, you feel that toxicity, and some people do feel that, especially if the dosage gets up there. But so if anyone knows me, I want people, like Tanya said, I want people feeling good, looking good, and big surprise, people feel good, they look better,
Yeah. No
Agreed. All right, I think that's a good spot to wrap up. Folks, appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for everybody for watching. Thanks you for joining us. Molecular. Nice having you.
Thanks for having me. Dude, I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Paul. Fantastic.
Right. Adios,